3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds in the mix. In the mix.
Yeah.
Yes, we're on and popping. Another episode.
Yeah, another episode.
Another episode. You don't want to say it?
34.
34.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm tuned in.
On it.
Yeah, I'm tuned in. Yeah,
Always
episode 34. Shout out to everybody for tuning in. Another episode, another Thursday night conversation with Whitney and Dwayne. Our podcast show where we have some enlightening, transformative, thought-provoking, emotional, high-energy conversations that are helping people perceive their situations and themselves a whole lot better than how they probably been perceiving them prior to the conversation. So shout out to you, Whit. Shout out to our special guest that's in the building. Shout out to you, Erica. Shout out to everybody who pressed their way today, took those challenges and those hits, those blessings or whatever it is that you had to deal with on the day. And you rocking with us right now at 8:30, man. Podcast show, Conversation with Whitney and Dwayne. We're excited about another episode 34. This is our 34th episode.
34th episode. So excited. And it just shows you when you connect with the right people.
Right.
It shows you when you put the vision and into, the faith and just step out and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Regardless of your financial means, regardless of the people you know.
Yeah.
Is that you just do it. Yeah. That's it. Episode 34. Here we go.
I feel like I'm in a booth right now. I'm about to rhyme. I'm about to put my hoodie on and get busy.
Yeah.
I'm about to get busy, Whit.
Oh, here we go.
That's how I'm feeling today, Whit.
He about to get busy.
That's how I'm feeling today. About to get busy. Got my hood on today.
Yeah.
But what's up, Whit, though? How you feeling?
No, I'm feeling great. And I want to shout out to everyone that's been rocking with us,
yeah.
right?
Shout them out.
Shout them out. Instagram, thank you so much. Facebook, In the Mix Radio, followers, viewers, thank you so much for supporting us. Dwayne and I, we have our book. And this
we do.
Our inspiration for our podcast. Let me get it. Here we go.
Yeah. Meeting Authentic You.
Meeting Authentic
It's
You.
up there. Check that screen out. There it is.
Right. There we go.
We're going into, what's this, with our third? This is almost our third year of since it's been done.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Yes.
Yeah. This is our
3
third
years.
year actually. It's been floating around Barnes and Noble, Amazon, any online book retail store where you can purchase a copy of the book. You can get a copy of our book, Meeting Authentic You, online. Get a copy of that, man. It's inspirational messages to help you meet you.
Yes.
Me and Whit have been in conversation over the last 5 going on 6 years.
That's right.
Yeah. We've been in conversation with one another, having some thought-provoking, once again, powerful conversations, and we have aligned ourselves together, or rather God placed us together, and now we fulfilling purpose together. We started having conversation. It went from a conversation to a prayer call to me showing up at her first book with notes. I told her I want to write a book with her. We decided to come together. We wrote this particular book. Right. We finished school. We got our master's degree together. Well,
seminary.
She came a little bit behind me because I was in my 4th year when she was in her 1st year. But we both graduated. We sealed that deal. We stayed consistent and committed to that assignment God called us to. And tell them about our second book we got coming.
I'm so excited. Second book is going to be out 2019. Don't Drop Out on You.
Yeah.
It's going to be, it's phenomenal. We have different things that, not just reading the book, but also some work for you to do.
Yeah.
And it's intergenerational.
There you go.
So we have it for the young people. It's for adults, young adults, all ages. You can benefit from this book. Just think about the title. Don't drop out on you. So many of us are dropping out on ourselves because of what other people are saying about us, because of our financial situations or whatever it is, circumstantial. We think, it's better just to throw in the towel. So Don't Drop Out on You is coming out in 2019. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wait, can I read what the publisher said to us?
Oh yeah, go ahead, do that.
Oh, that's super dope, right?
Pull that up that fast.
The publisher, she said, before I summarize your next steps, here's my overall impressions of your work. Your book is very interesting, and your vivid descriptions are thought-provoking and really make the book come to life. I haven't seen a book formatted quite like yours before. You cover such a wide variety of topics, and each entry is interesting. The material is quite inspiring and encouraging. We all face challenges in life, and your meditations are so positive and focused on achieving. I especially like the way you set the book up to allow each reader to answer questions, thus allowing each person to better understand themselves and the ramifications of their decisions. Dope. I love that the publishers actually tuned in with the material of the book as well.
Absolutely.
Super duper dope. I'm excited about that, man.
Different perspective and somebody else outside of us.
You
know what I mean? Because we can write and say, hey, this is powerful. When somebody else says, you know what, this is a good piece of work, it's amazing. Yeah. Right?
So shout out to our ability to stay consistent and committed and continue to create in spite of the challenges that we both have experienced. And just stay on course, man, to help people, and serve people, man, and fulfill purpose. So that's some of our story. We got so much more that we're going to reveal and share with you guys.
We do.
But in the meantime, in between time, once again, master's degree, prayer calls, books, podcast show, conferences, much more that we got for you guys.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah, man, we just super excited about it right now, man. So I'm just shout out to, to everybody, not just Whitney and myself, but shout out to everybody who stayed consistent, who stayed the course, who didn't allow the challenges that happen along the way to stop you and deter you from fulfilling what it is that you believe in. Yes. So shout out to everybody, man. Let's get into it.
Just want to let them know, you did mention our prayer call that we have every Monday morning. Just want to reiterate that.
Yeah.
Monday Morning Glory. Every single Monday, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. is a good thing to start off the week with prayer. So make sure you tune in. And you can also find this information on our social media handles. My Instagram page is I am Whitney D. Smith. And also on Facebook, Whitney D. Smith. You can find me. And then, Dwayne, let them know your handles so they'll know all the information about the call.
Wait, can we double back real quick, Erica, for a second, please? So we can let the people know what those numbers are. Once again, the prayer calls every Monday morning. If there's a holiday and we don't see you guys on that Monday, we double back on that Tuesday. And that call number is 515-739-1015. The passcode is 383-812-662. Once again, the call-in number is 515-739-1015. The passcode is 383-812-662. Call in, man. We want to hear from you guys. We want to pray for you guys. We want to pray with you guys. We want to help you guys start your Monday and your week off with some good vibes, some dope energy.
Yeah.
Because it's needed. We all are being hit. We all are under attack.
Hit left and
the
right.
enemy don't want none of us to win. So it's only right that you tune in and you get connected to some people who believe in your ability to achieve and stay the course, so you can get some victory, get you some glow, get you some level up, get you some come up, and be able to live life on a level, man, that your enemies and your haters don't want you living life on. You want to make sure you tune into what Whitney and I are staying consistent with God got us doing.
I'm just shouting out our Instagram.
Shout them out, Whit. Shout them out. Let them know.
So we got Miss Nelson. We got Swirl Bliss from LU college people. Lincoln University in the house.
Yeah.
I think I need glasses. I'm 41 now.
Hey.
Nicole, Matthew. I'll catch I'll catch more of you throughout the show, but you want to make sure you call in. We have a great conversation tonight with our special guest. We're going to introduce him soon. So you'll know the numbers. It's 914-969-6499 or 718-705-4959. And before we get into our What's Going On segment, before we get into spirit check and all that great stuff, tell them about the Vibe With Me movement, Dwayne.
Yo, once again, shout out to my Vibe With Me movement, my Vibe With Me army, the family. Shout out to everybody who's purchased the T-shirts, the hats, the sweatshirts. I thank you guys, as it is my custom. Shout out to my people, Africa, Canada, Holland, London, right? My people across the country showing me love. Of course, the hometown, NYC, everybody in the 5 boroughs shouting me out, showing me that love. Thank you all for reposting the videos. Thank you all for leaving comments, liking, encouraging other people to tune in. watching the videos. Thank you for everybody who's sharing the videos at work, making sure that work morale and energy is right to serve whatever population of people that you're serving. Shout out to everybody who's doing those things to help this energy and this word go forth. So shout out to the Vibe With Me Army. I'm up every morning, rain, sleet, snow, sun. I don't care what the weather conditions are. I'm here to give you guys that energy. As long as God give me health and strength and breath in my body, I don't care what's going on. If I'm sick, I'm broke, I ain't got no money, I'm dealing with love, death of love, whatever it is, I'm getting up and I'm giving you that vibe. I'm giving you that energy.
And you know what? That's dope, because a lot of us, because of our circumstances, we just stop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's good that you push, and it's good that you stay consistent and making sure you serve the people so they can get some God and get some inspiration. You know what I mean?
Shout out to everybody who's tuning in and helping me, because I'm not doing it alone. Shout out to everybody who's helping me fulfill purpose and make a difference, man, because a lot of people we all experiencing challenges, man. It get rough. It get dark, man.
Rough.
It get rough. It get dark, man.
You know what? And I always say, thank God I don't look like what I've been through or what I'm going through.
Facts. Facts.
Have no idea.
Super
but
duper facts, man. But tell them what's going on with you over there. What's happening?
Well, we are started planning our Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference next year.
What year is that with? What year is that with?
Our 4th annual next year, number 4, November 16th.
Yeah.
2019 is going to be in Midtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it in Midtown.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. We're going upstate.
We're doing it.
Upstate.
Upstate where? No,
Midtown.
Midtown.
I'm lying.
Oh, no. We're doing it in Midtown, so we have graduated. But we're gonna
Middletown. My
oh
bad.
no, Midtown.
I'm sorry, y'all. We had
50.
one too many.
Yeah, no, he did. So Midtown, we're doing it in Midtown, in the city, New York. But not just that, we are planning. Planning more conferences. We're going to do a youth empowerment conference that's coming up in May of 2019. Dwayne and I, don't drop out on you, so look out for that. That's coming up.
Let them know.
Also, there's a lot of things going on. I can't tell you all the visions, but trust me, I'm working. And I'm working to serve the people so you can get the tools and everything that you need. That's it. So let's go with the spirit check. So let's tell our special guest, Dwayne, what spirit check is, because we're going to want him to be a part of this segment, right?
I feel like I'm in the studio. I feel like I'm rhyming right now. We're in the booth.
You look
Check
like
this
you're about
out.
to spit.
Yeah, I'm about to spit the whole. It's about to get crazy.
Where my ladies at?
But
This testosterone.
The spirit check segment of the show is just to let people know what condition and what state your spirit is in right now. Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it inspired? Are you feeling discouraged? Are you feeling enlightened? Whatever it is, how's your spirit on today at this time right now for you?
Oh man, I'm so happy to be here that I'm elated. You know, they said God to put you through something to get you to something.
Oh, we can't wait till we talk about that.
We got a word tonight.
That's right. So I'm always feeling good. How dare I feel upset or discouraged or anything like that? I'm very happy to be here.
Super dope. Super
dope.
dope. So how's your spirit, Whit? I don't even know how you better follow up good after that one.
I don't even want to. I want you to go next, but then I have to follow up after you. But I'm not in competition with anybody else, so here we go. Right? My spirit is in expectation. It's been like that for a minute. I'm excited to just be here another episode. I'm expecting 2019, and I've been posting this, that 2019 is not going to, this time next year, it's going to look totally different.
Take your time.
Totally different.
Unpack that.
Totally different. And everyone who's connected to me, you're going to be in a different space. Trust me. God is doing some amazing things.
Yeah.
And 2018 was a trying year for me, but also God exposed a lot of people in this year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm expecting greatness. I can't wait. 2019, the same time next year is not going to be. It's not. It's going to look totally different.
Super dope.
So I'm in expectation, and I'm happy.
Yeah. Amazing. My spirit on tonight with is I got to use this word, man. I'm elated. I'm excited. I'm energized. I'm ready. I'm charged up. I got to use the word of the topic of the show. I'm transformed.
Transformed.
I'm transformed, man. I'm transformed. I'm ready for whatever it is that God is going to release. I'm ready for everything that comes with this next level. I'm ready for it, man. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I'm ready for it all. Hits, attacks, getting up, enduring, building, creating. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready. So that's what my spirit is right now. Yeah,
the stamina is up.
I'm charged up right now, and I'm not just saying it because we on the show. Like I'm charged up, man. I came from the show earlier today, Cigars and Conversation.
He has another show.
And I'm here working again. Show number 2, episode 34. I'm charged up. I'm ready. Let's get to it. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited with it. As the brother said, man, God, can you please repeat that? God will take you through something to get you to something.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Oh man, oh man. Woo.
That's that transformation process that we want to talk about.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
the beauty of transformation. Before we get there, we have our What's Going On segment. The What's Going On segment is where we usually we celebrate different businesses that are doing great things in the community. And if you're interested in being on the show, if you're interested in just letting us know what's going on, events that you have, products or services that you are offering, let us know, because this is another platform for you.
Yeah.
You know, this is not about us just talking about what we're doing and how we're serving the community. This is a platform for someone else to broaden their territory. So check us out if you're interested in, showcasing your product, your service. This is what we do on the What's Going On segment. Call us up. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook. You can contact us. But what we're going to do during this segment, we're going to introduce our guests.
Yeah.
Right? And we want our guest to, he's going to introduce himself because, I think it's a good thing because you could tell them more about you than I can because you know you, right? So we're going to introduce.
You know you, right?
We're going to introduce. He's going to introduce Dice. So, Dice, we can start off with telling them who you are. Your name, what you do. Just anything you want to share. Introduce so people know who you are.
My name is Dice from Mount Vernon, New York.
Money earning. I'm sorry. I'm
Money
from Mount Vernon, too.
Money earning.
Money earning Mount Vernon.
Money.
Shout out to Money earning Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
Shout out to Money earning Mount Vernon.
And, I have the Celebrate Life clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's doing well. I'm doing pop-up shops, in the boroughs and in Westchester. And, it's doing really well. Celebrate life.
Yeah.
I need everybody to get in tune with that affirmation, And my thing is, as long as you're on a green side of grass, that you need to appreciate that. You need to celebrate life. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Don't take it for granted. Don't live in the past. Live in the present, moment to moment to moment to moment to moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's where I'm at right now,
Okay.
Dope.
Yeah, it's super dope. It's super dope, and I love it. I really love it. I'm happy to be here. I've been through trials and tribulations, as everyone have.
Before you go,
we're going to get into that.
Is that
your...
Yeah, stand up.
Yeah,
show
stand up so everybody can see.
Show
Wait
the
a
people
minute.
what you got on. There you go.
Instagram.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, turn around.
Show them. There you go. Yeah.
I have one of the t-shirts, too.
You have one. Yeah,
Let's get into it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, get into it. Yeah, get into it.
Okay.
Celebrate life.
Celebrate life.
Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we had to capture this.
Showcase the product.
Yeah, there you go. Let the people know what you got on. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a little introduction of our special guest. Now we're going to get into our topic, right?
Well, he was about to say something.
Oh, were you going to say something?
He was about to give us some more about it.
No,
I wanted to get into that. Let's go.
No,
He's co-hosting with us.
Go ahead.
Well, like I was saying, I've been through trials and tribulations, and like everyone has. Everyone has been through something. The thing is not to get stuck there. You got to keep moving, move forward, keep moving forward. Like we said before, God will bring you through something to get you to something. So you can't get stuck. You got to keep them feet moving, and keep it positive.
Yeah.
Always keep it positive. That's what I do. And when you asked me earlier, I said, how dare I be, I feel good to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Good.
I'm always happy to be here, no
That's
matter
dope.
what.
That's
No matter
dope.
what's going on. I feel good about being here.
Good.
Super dope.
Because I know where I was 388 days
I can't wait to talk. I can't wait to talk about this because Dwayne, like I told you, you and Dice have a lot in common, and like you're gonna have a great conversation. I'm gonna be in it, but I can relate to it only because I can't relate to being where you guys were, but I was on the outside end. My brother had maybe similar things. But anyway, I'm so excited to talk about this topic, the beauty of transformation, being different or having situations that will transform us, that forces us into a place of transformation. So that is dope. Dope. So here we go. Our topic. And call in tonight if you have any questions, you want to say anything. 914-969-6499, 718-705-4959. The beauty of transformation. All right, so Dice, where did I want to talk about your clothing line real quick.
Okay.
Where did the Celebrate Life how were you inspired to name it Celebrate Life? Where did that come from?
Well,
it's a movement. I want to say it's a clothing line because you're living it, right?
I'm definitely living it.
Right.
And it's definitely a movement. And it started from Otisville Correctional Facility.
Otisville Correctional Facility. What is that?
Otisville Correctional Facility?
Yeah, where is that?
That's in Otisville, New York.
Oh, there's an Otisville, New York?
Yes, it is. It's up in the mountains somewhere. Yeah. Otisville, New York.
How far is it from Mount Vernon, White Plains?
From Mount Vernon, it's about 90 minutes from the city.
Okay.
It's about 90 minutes from the city.
Oh.
I spent some time there. And one of the things that I was in a therapeutic community, and one of the things they did was ask you for affirmation every day. In the meeting, they asked you for affirmation. And my affirmation every day was celebrate life.
That's what got you through?
It just felt right. It just felt right, and I could take you back, but I'm gonna wait to come back.
I want us to come back because I want Dwayne to be in the conversation because I know you guys have a lot in common. So they had you state affirmations, and you came up with the affirmation: celebrate life.
Celebrate life.
Celebrate life.
Celebrate life, and it just felt so right. It just when it came out, it just felt good, and I started living that.
And how do you live that?
Day by day, moment by moment, and you don't go in the past. The past is just a story. It's just a story in your head. If I hit you right here, I hit you, but that happened already, and you're still talking about it. It happened already. You're in the past, really. You're not present. You're not right now. Life is moment to moment to moment to moment. Moments of now. That's life. That's being present. That's being present. Anything else, you're in your head.
Anything else, you in your head.
Yeah, it's
living
a story.
in the now, in the present.
In the present.
Now, I want you to tell us some of your story because we have a lot of people out here. We have viewers, we have listeners that maybe have faced the same situation, not the same situation, but similar as far as being in Otis or in can I say incarcerated?
Yeah, you can say incarcerated.
Okay, incarcerated. And some had challenges of how much you want to tell your story?
I'm open.
Okay.
My story is open.
So let's start. Can we start from like the beginning? We don't have to start from all the business, but can you tell them a little bit about where you were mentally, spiritually, physically, like 3 years ago? Only reason why I want him to tell a story because somebody's going to benefit from this.
Big time.
And somebody's not going to be stagnant and complacent and feel like life is over because it's never over. But go ahead.
Well, let me say this first. My family came from Harlem, and we lived in the projects.
Y'all got something in common doing? Okay.
Yeah, we lived in Lincoln Projects, 132nd and Madison Avenue. That's where we was. I was brought up right there. It was 6 of us in, I guess, like a 2-3 bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
All right. So, having my family there, my mother and father, both my parents, they didn't want me to be raised in the projects. So they worked diligently. Both of them had jobs. They worked and they worked and they saved and they saved. They wanted to get us out the projects because so much was happening back then, and this was in the 70s. So they moved, they saved their money and they moved up to Mount Vernon. Now, I didn't want to go to Mount Vernon. I'm a young kid. I was like 6 or 7 years old. I didn't want to go to Mount Vernon. Everybody I knew lived right here in this projects. That's where I was brought up. So, when we got to Mount Vernon, it was totally different. We lived in a house. We had a backyard and things of that nature. But everybody on my block was white. So that was a little different for me. And not only were they white, they was about 5 years older than me. All the kids was about 5 years older than me. And at that time, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
11 and 6.
Yeah, I'm 7 and they 12, 13,
Right.
things of that nature. So I pretty much heard every nigga joke. There was one black kid that lived on my block, you know, and he was about 3 years older than me, and I kind of clicked to him, and he introduced me to the south side of Mount Vernon, and that's where, you know, it was more people that looked like me over there. But let's move forward. So now I'm hanging on the south side of Mount Vernon, where people look like me and tend to act like me, and they have all those maze-like buildings that I grew up in. And, you know, we clicked. I didn't have to say nothing. There wasn't those jokes or anything like that. They just, everything was all right until I bring them to my house. So now when I bring them to my house, they say, oh, you got cereal and milk.
You got money?
you got, you know, you got your own room. Hey, you got a backyard. You got both parents.
Both parents.
You're different. You're different than us, right? And I didn't want to be different. I never wanted to be different than them. I wanted them to accept me.
Right.
Wow.
So here it is that I'll go far and beyond. I'll do what they won't do to be accepted. So it's like reverse, you know. They're out there, you know, back then they might have been selling drugs out of necessity. And here I am, I'm doing it to be accepted. They might be carrying guns because they live in the projects, and I'm doing it to be accepted. It's a crazy thing, you know. It's a crazy thing. The story is not unique, but you know there are people out there like me that do things to be accepted.
Yeah.
I mean, I work with kids, so
Yeah, you know.
Powerful.
Long story short is that you know I ended up going to prison. And at the same time, I was hiding all my filthy affairs from my parents. And, you know, my parents didn't believe that I was doing the things that I was doing. They would hear about it. People would tell them in the street. They say, hey, your son was out there doing X, Y, and Z. And like, not my son, you know. But I was doing that. And I was hanging in the neighborhoods that they didn't think I was hanging in. And I was taking them for granted, all the things that they was providing for me. So... You know,
how long did you serve?
Which time?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right.
In prison, locked up.
I spent damn near my entire adult life in prison. I spent 25 of my years in prison. Wow. 25, well, 24, and really close to 25 years in prison on 3 different occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that lifestyle, man.
No, yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's that lifestyle,
terrible.
man.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I could say that this last prison experience was the most transformative experience of my life. The most transformative experience of my life because I learned something this time. I got to know who I was. I learned something about myself. And I'll try to be brief, but while I was in prison, I was serving a 16-year to life sentence, and I was getting in a lot of trouble. I wouldn't stay in a facility for more than a year, and then I got to one facility and I stayed there about 6 years, and I was getting in trouble off and on there. And my mother said, Dice, I think you need to start writing in a journal, you know, keeping tabs of what you do, you know, try to find out, you know, try to find yourself. And I did that. I kept a journal for 6 years. I didn't write in the journal every day, but off and on, maybe twice a week, sometimes once a month. But for 6 years, I wrote in the journal. And then I got in trouble again. Around that 6th year, I got in trouble, and they put me in confinement. And, you know, they give you a limited amount of property. And one of the things they gave me was the journal. And instead of writing in the journal, this time I read it. And reading that journal, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe who I was. It showed me who I was. The journal showed me, the journal helped me identify who I was. It was right in front of my face. You wrote this. Everything in it you wrote. And I was disgusted with myself. but it also was like a map.
Mm-hmm.
It showed me where I was going, where I was heading. Like I always say this, I thought I was going to California, but I was heading towards Canada, right? And another thing is, like they say, a map, if you don't know where you are, a map won't help you.
Right.
So, you know, the journal it just was explosive. That time that I spent in the box reading that journal, I came out a different person. I saw all the cycles, all the patterns, my thinking patterns, my habits. I saw it all, and I had never saw it before. You know, and if you'd have told me this, I would have denied it. I would have denied that I was that person. But I couldn't deny this one. But also, it helped me change. It helped me change because everything was right there.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I could just.
You couldn't hide from yourself.
Right, I could stop
you
doing
wrote
this,
it.
stop
Don't,
doing that,
ooh.
stop doing this, stop hanging with these people over here.
I got a word.
Yeah.
No, I think that's dope because the thing is that oftentimes we try to hide from ourselves and we can't confront who we really are.
Right.
And other people can tell us, like, you're this, you're that person, you're this. You say, oh, they haters. Oh, they, they're this, they're that. But then when you telling yourself about who you are, you can't run from that.
Right.
Like, that's the truth.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So that's powerful.
Right.
Powerful that you looking yourself in the mirror and saying, oh, wow, I got these patterns.
Your ugly self.
Your ugly self, that other side, that dark side,
the ugly
right?
self.
Wow.
Right, the ugly self.
Such a powerful.
But thank God for. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Man.
No, thank God for that side. I mean, being able to confront and be aware of that side, because that's what helps us transform. Go ahead, Dwayne.
No, I was just gonna say that it's so powerful to hear how some of the story that you gave,
right.
and how pain brought you back to, or rather at least brought you to a place of acceptance, where when there wasn't no pain, it was like I was having a hard time accepting who I was, how things were for me, and I was trying to get away from this this place that I now value now as a man.
Right.
Where as a child, here I am struggling with not fitting in and being a different person, and I go on to live this life where for whatever the reason is, right? Whatever it is, whether it's just being a child, whether it's something spiritual that we come to realize over years of just making poor choices and being just connected to the wrong people and then being spiritually disconnected, that we now try to get back to where we originally were. I want to get back to being this person who had peace, this person who didn't have to do these particular things.
Right.
So listening to some of the story that you've decided to share with us tonight, the story becomes powerful because it took pain, the last bid. It wasn't the first two. It was the last one. It was the 16 of life. It was journaling for 6 years. And then it was whatever it was that created this now, I got to go to the box. However long I'm now in the box, and now I get an opportunity to read what I wrote. And now reading what I wrote, it's like it's like you set your own stage in order for you to revisit or at least return back to where you originally was.
Right.
I was originally at peace.
Right.
I was originally good. I didn't have to do any of the things that I did do as a child. So now here I am as a man, unfortunately in prison, and I'm not laughing at you, but it's just so powerful that because it's so powerful because the stories are not the same, but the feelings and the experiences are kind of similar. They're almost identical, right? Because even though I was here's the transparency piece, right? I grew up rare, right? Both parents, right? We never got a chance to move, right, to Mount Vernon or some of these great neighborhoods, so to speak. We lived in the projects, right? We lived in Douglas on 103rd and Columbus, right? But we was one of the very few black families in the hood, even though it's a bunch of black families in the hood, where it's a 2-parent family home. We go into Catholic school. We live in a 4-bedroom apartment in the projects. Just think about that for a second. I never really thought about it as a kid. That's a luxury in the projects. A 4-bedroom apartment with 4 kids, 2 family. They're married, right? And here I am, here we are, right, trying to also fit in,
right,
with the crowd. We being laughed at because we got to wear uniforms. Everybody else is going to public school. Everybody else got one parent family homes. So I can identify with Dice's story to a degree because we too wanted to fit in.
Right.
And as a result of trying to fit in, we got in trouble. And as a result of getting in trouble, what happened? My father passed away at 15. You know the story. And then I go to the street, start selling drugs, smoking, drinking, hustling, living that lifestyle. Now I'm in prison doing 5 years to life because I'm trying to fit in. I got a hard time saying no. I really need to be saying, no, I'm not doing that, but I'm still saying yes, rather, excuse me, when I should be saying no. And as a result, I now am in prison. I got to come back to how I was raised. So I love his story, man. It's not the same, but that the struggle of not saying no.
But you know what the thing is? Look, I wasn't in prison at all. I probably would have died because I'm claustrophobic.
Well, you wasn't in a physical prison, but it's a prison.
But here we go, because that's where I'm going at. So I wasn't physically in prison. However, I had my challenges in a different aspect.
Yeah.
Growing up in a house with two family, we had a huge house. All that other stuff.
Yeah.
At the same time as I tried to be accepted as well. I did different things to be accepted in. I was hanging with the wrong crowd, so to speak, and did some things that I would probably never, that I can think of that I wouldn't want Avery to do, my son to do, you know what I'm saying? So, it goes to show that we all been in a place where we try to be accepted, no matter where we grew up. Right. You know what I mean? No matter, how many if we were living in a two-parent home. We all been in that place where we tried to fit in and be accepted. And we have different locations, different social locations, different environments. We all try to be accepted.
We're not that different, though.
We're not that different. Right. Although our story is different, we're not that different. We can all relate.
The commonality is the emotions that we feel, even though the experiences are not the same.
Absolutely.
We all experience hurt, disappointment. We cry, we get happy, right? We get rejected. We go through periods probably of neglect, right? We experience similar feelings, right? I want to be able to I want us to utilize this conversation to help somebody, right? Adult or child, right? Where when we look back, we can honestly say we didn't have to do what we did.
Right.
Let's now identify why we did it. We know that we didn't like, in Dice's case, right, because he's the guest, right? Yeah, he didn't like being different. So I want to stay within the context of the language that's being used.
I love it.
As we narrate the story, right?
Different is important, and it's great to be.
Different,
we don't realize that.
Different was problematic for him in his young life.
Yes, he was.
He disliked being different. So he did whatever he needed to do in order to be accepted, right? So for somebody who's going to watch this show tonight, how can we help them and prevent them going down paths that we all went down because we just didn't know how to embrace, right? The fact that we were already fine.
Right.
We were already fine. Now, was it destiny that kind of created this path, or was it just disobedience? Was it just dysfunction? Was it just rebellion? What was it that created us to go down paths that we really, when we look back on it, we never really had to go down? We had good parents for the most part, not perfect parents, but good parents, right? We was provided for. We was sheltered. We were loved. We didn't have a lot of the challenges that some of our childhood friends probably had. So what made us have to go down this path? I want us to utilize this conversation to probably help somebody else who's probably feeling like they have to go down that path or have yet, here's the deep part, have yet to come into the level of awareness that we have. They're still trying to be accepted. They're still clubbing. They're still partying.
Even after in the 40s,
there you 50s,
go. You're
still they drinking, they smoking, they popping pills. You know what I mean? Like they going from relationship. They're still trying to fit in. They haven't figured it out yet. So a conversation like this becomes very, very uncomfortable. Let's establish that.
Okay. Yes.
It's very uncomfortable because it becomes
because you gotta confront who you.
There you
gotta confront yourself.
It's a mirror, right? And in Dice's case,
absolutely.
he found himself what we call, for those of us who've been locked up, in the box, right? They call it the shoe. For people who've never been there, they call it the hole.
Oh, the hole! I thought it was.
The hole.
Yeah, there you go. They call it all kind of names. Right? Right, there you go. Right, but it's the technical term, right? Confinement. Right?
Solitary.
There you go. He's confined. And in that moment of feeling, or being rather, experiencing solitary confinement, he now has to come to terms and look at himself.
Right.
So yes, and now I want to continue to talk about
No,
that.
go.
Right. So no, so after you had this awareness, right? This transformation, with reading your journal. What happened? Like, I want to talk about after you walk out, like
After I walked out of prison.
Yeah.
Oh, when I walked out of prison, it was 18 years later, and the world had changed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was different. I was different, and you know, it was a lot of learning curves. I was scared. That was one of the feelings that I had. I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of anxiety, and I didn't really know what to expect. Right? The learning curves are so fast, and then the way people communicate. You know, they'll tell you, for instance, I don't know how to do something on my phone, and somebody would say, all you have to do is do this. And it sounds so simple to them because they're so used to the phone, but they're not really giving me any instruction.
Right.
And the more I ask for instruction, to them it may seem that I'm slow.
Right.
You know, but I'm not slow. I just need more instruction. I need more instruction because I've never used this phone before. I've never used this phone. I don't know about that. I'm scared to get in the car. You know, I'm scared to pick up a phone, a regular phone. You know, I haven't done that in so long.
Right.
You know, so it was listening for what people are not saying to you and trying to figure out, you know, what they're trying to convey to you. And it was so much. It was so much. And then, you know, you had people say, yo, Dice, you change. You change. And, you know, what was a good thing about it that I got to say, yeah, and you didn't.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You didn't. You
right.
still doing the same thing that you was doing before I left. You know, you didn't change. Yeah, I did change, you know, because before telling me that I changed was like a badge of dishonor. Like, you changed, man. You ain't. Yeah, but now I can stand. Yeah, I did change. And I'm proud of that.
Right.
I'm proud of that. That's being able to stand on your own. You know, stand on. You know yourself. Stand on your own 2 feet. But it was so much. It's so many things that I could say that was different when I came out. That you know, that would be a 2-hour show. Everything was different.
That's a fact.
Everything was different.
But the most important thing, that you were different, and we talk about being different. We talk about transformation, and a lot of people who say that, you know, we are different because we're changing, is still the same, and they're still in those same places, and they're stuck and still doing the same things, and they can't understand how you change because they're still the same.
Right.
I want to insert this into the conversation.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
The beauty, the beauty of transformation is, at least for myself, the willingness to put the work in. When we stay within that context of the tension, right, that we deal with for those who have an issue with our change, with our transformation, that becomes a beautiful process because what it really reveals is the work that we're putting in that they're not putting in. Their, whether intentional or unintentional, refusal to actually commit themselves to putting in this work, right? So that, for me, not that I feel good about myself looking at somebody else's misfortune, struggle, or refusal to put the work in, but it shows me that I'm doing something that I actually believe in, to your point, that I'm standing on my principles, my morals, my values, that I no longer need to be aligned and connected to people who are not on that type of time.
Exactly.
I'm okay with the fact that you think that I'm not how you feel I need to be. I'm okay with becoming who I know is beneficial for me to be in my time, in this time. I love what you said, moment for moment, right? So for me, I think that that's critical when we have conversation because unfortunately, in many of the communities that we come from, good, bad, or indifferent, these are not dialogues. These are not discussions that we're holding. So many people don't really know how to be in relationship with one another on this kind of level because these conversations are not happening.
Yeah, Jay-Z said, and you know, Jay-Z said, this quote I never forget. He said that you can't heal it until you reveal it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's people that, and I hope that this conversation, this brings about a dialogue for people that, you know, that they're able to discuss these things, these topics amongst themselves, amongst their family members and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Because there are people that that are right next to you going through the same thing that you might be going through, but won't say a word about it.
Yeah.
They won't say nothing.
Yeah.
They don't say nothing.
I think that speaks also to, culture, right? Where we come from. What's said and done in this house stays in this house.
Exactly.
Right? So many of us are carrying shame, abuse, all kinds of dysfunction because we were raised and taught not to bring that stuff outside of the home. Right. So the reason why a lot of this transformation is not happening, primarily amongst our people, is because we're still living by a lot of those teachings that were unfortunately taught to us. Keep that private. Keep that in-house. You don't say nothing about that. So if you being abused, you being beat, you not growing, you not healing, you can't experience any of the stuff that you witnessing some of the people who come from where you come from experience, because it's like, how you able to transform and grow? How you able to start your own company? How you able to write a book? How you able to start your own show? How you able to connect with these new people and take your life to these new levels when we come from the same mud? We come from the same bottom. We come from this is what are you doing? You breaking the dysfunctional code. You violating right now. And as a matter of fact, now I envy you. I can't stand you. I really don't. I really do like you, but I dislike what you represent because I don't know how to do what I'm watching you do because we come from the same place. So these conversations begin to break a lot of that generational, social and cultural, these things that we've been taught. And if we can get into the habit of starting to value these things right here, because I'm going to keep it 100. It was difficult for me at one point. I come from that same mud. I may not look like it, glasses, clean, all that. Yeah, but I ain't come from this. I had the army jacket on, the dirty, all that, rough, looking crazy. High school dropout, 5th grade reading level. I was calling everybody else nerds. You was a clown, a lame, and a bird because you finished school, all of that. To end up in prison and have to serve time, and then you start looking at yourself saying, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
Hold up.
Right.
Wait. And then it's also who you locked up with. You got brothers who they done already been down 17. 15, or they ain't coming home. And you're like, whoa, is this how I want to spend the rest of my life? It's unfortunate that becomes the context that we find ourselves in for brothers and sisters who have actually, and unfortunately, but fortunately, have had to have that kind of experience in order to come to this level of awakening, to then bring that kind of understanding and that kind of experience out here to the streets, to then try to participate in some kind of purpose, to help people understand, you don't got to keep going that way. Right. You don't got to handle it that way. Let's talk. Now, I don't talk, man. I'm all right. I'm good. No, you're not. You 30, but you look 60. You sick. You're not keeping it. So these things are important. So I'm actually grateful and excited
for the conversation.
that Dice is in the building with us today, man, to bring his experience, to give some hope, hopefully, for people who are tuning in, that even after having his 3 prison experiences, the last one being the most brutal,
powerful,
the most brutal, roughest,
transformational,
most importantly, transformative one. But that, it gave birth to him actually becoming probably who he was all along.
No, yeah.
And when you think about it, I think about the things that I put my parents through.
Yeah.
Because, they were there every step of the way.
Yeah.
Every step. Every single step. And, I've been to some places, man. I've been to some places, and they've been there. I was upstate, over here, Federal Bid, Indiana, Lompoc, California. I'm all over the place. I'm doing unthinkable things. And my parents is right, and my father passed away while I was in prison.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy. That was the beginning. That was the beginning. At first, I was really callous. I was robotic. My parents, my mother, I think I was just talking to her about it. Her and my sister came to see me, and I think they came up there just to make me cry because that's how shut down I was. I didn't want to. I was in my zone. I think I cried when my father passed away. I think I cried for about 3 minutes. I was in the yard when I got the news. I was on the phone. I might have cried for 3 minutes, and as soon as somebody looked at me, I wiped them off.
Shake it off.
I shook it off.
Get out of there.
And then the next day, I was back to working out again. and that's unhealthy.
Very
yes.
Unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine.
Explosive. Like I'm on edge.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm just, you know, like I said, like now I'm really, really happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
No, it's a blessing, man. I'm grateful that you are here because
man.
somebody needs to hear this, man. Somebody needs to hear this testimony, man. Somebody needs to hear.
And God is good, bro. I'm gonna tell you, God is I'm gonna say this: chicken is good. God is awesome, man.
God is awesome.
God is awesome, brother.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, man.
Yeah.
I could tell you some things about God that you know, how He's brought me through these things, how He's revealed things to me, you know, and even right before I got out of prison, I knew I was getting out of prison. The first time they didn't let me go, but the second time, I knew I was getting out. And I even told one of the brothers, they was praying for me one day. I said, listen, if I get out of prison, I'm gonna come to church and sing a song. And you know, that ain't one of my strengths. You know, God blessed me with a lot of talents, and singing ain't one of them. But I said, you know what? If I get out of prison, if I make this parole boy, I'm gonna sing a song. I didn't even wait for the decision. That Sunday came, I got up there and sang a song.
Ooh.
I knew I was going home.
Expectation.
Right? I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew I was going home. And I did, you know, and I got up there and I sang that song. Somebody prayed. I sang that song.
Yeah.
And when I got to the part where it said, my mother prayed for me, couldn't finish it.
Tears.
Boo-hoo.
Broke down. Yeah.
Right. Boo-hoo. And this time I didn't stop at 3 minutes. I sat there in front of everybody and just let it all out. But I knew it. This was before I got my decision. But, you know,
faith.
And now, like, it ties right in to this Celebrate Life.
Wow.
It ties right in. Celebrate Life.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful that you inserted that part into the conversation because healing is also part of transformation. And even though he was in a climate, right, that doesn't allow, right, ideally, right, doesn't allow vulnerability. It's off limits. You know what I mean? It's like it's an alarm that's going off. You just can't be vulnerable. You can't show that side. It's a form of weakness. And pending who you're around, you become the prey. And they will eat you alive when they see you in that space. But for him to be able to identify, right, that he was in a place, a safe space, in service, being able to worship and sing a song to God and then give himself that moment of transparency, man, vulnerability, man, and allow that moment of what some may perceive as weakness actually became a moment of strength. It strengthened him. It helped him prepare himself for his transition out of prison and then into society and then actually come up with a vision. Oh, God. Thank you, God. Come up with a vision for Celebrate Life. And here we are now, moving
We're
product.
celebrating life.
Moving product. He said he's doing well. He's doing great numbers with this product from this vision, from an experience or a collection, rather, of experiences that he has had that now has him saying, God is awesome. Chicken is good. But I'm out here moving this product right now, man, and I need you guys to understand how important it is to celebrate life. No, it ain't easy. No, it's not always going to be good. But it's going to be some rough and some hard period that we all experience. We all go through it. We all can give a story, man. But today it's about Dice. And he's sharing a powerful story about how he struggled from the very beginning stages of his life with accepting his difference. He didn't know how to deal with, just embracing himself. And as a result, he went on this path just to be different. And in being different, he found himself in places that inconvenienced himself, inconvenienced his family, hurt others probably in that process.
Oh, yeah.
But in all of that, he had to come to the realization that he needed something greater than himself.
That's right.
He came and he surrendered to God, and as a result of his connection and now his newfound relationship with God and himself and his family and now his vision, he's able to now live a life, man, that he probably could have lived had he not had these experiences. But God kept him. But God kept him, man.
Right.
It's a beautiful story.
It's a really
man.
good conversation.
It's a beautiful story,
Been
man.
through the water, the fire, and the
I'm
blood.
blessed
brother.
by it.
Yeah, man, it's powerful because that I'm more than sure with that somebody is gonna say, "Wow, I'm grateful for the brother," because I got a brother, I got a sister, I got an uncle, I got a father, I got somebody who just can't figure it out, and they trying to do it. And here's the money part for me: they trying to do it without God. That's the money part with.
That's the money part for me. At the same, also, it's just the fact that we go through a lot of circumstances and situations, not just for us. Like, I'm thinking if Dice didn't go through this, what he had been through, the trials and tribulations, would he be where he is today? And I think everything has a purpose. Right. You know what I mean? We go through those things. God already has it written. It's already finished. Yeah, you know what I mean? So the things that we're going through, trust me, all things work together. You know what I mean? So the thing is that I guess thank God I was afflicted, because if I wasn't afflicted, then I probably wouldn't be able to see my purpose and see what I'm destined to do. You know, so that's the money. When you say money bag,
the money, that's the money part.
Oh, the money
part. That's fine.
Whatever it is.
No, that's
good. That is for me, because everybody's going through a lot of hardships. But there's a purpose in it, and people don't see you can't see the purpose. We all been there where you can't see the purpose. I'm pretty sure when you were in a situation, even when my brother was in a situation, I know they got a purpose in it. You're not thinking on those terms. No, you're not thinking of that. Just like, whether you're in prison or you're in prison outside of prison in your mind, you're in a situation where you're hurting. Everybody's going through it, and you can't see it. But this is a story that there is purpose in what you go through, even if we can't understand it and we don't like how it feels.
Yeah, that's good.
But I feel like you got to have that moment where you look yourself in the mirror, that transformative moment, and be, transparent with you.
That's right.
You got to have that moment in order.
There's a saying that they have in the rooms of AA and NA, right? They say when the pain outweighs the pleasure, you start to change.
Right? Yeah. Ooh.
So in Dice's case, and even in my case, and even in yours, right, the pain started to outweigh that pleasure.
That's right.
And I love what he inserted, man. Like when you start to see how your choices is impacting your parents. Like, what you already know, I lost my dad at 15 before I went to prison. I watched how prison impacted my mom, and then 3 years after coming home, my mom's transition. So I seen what my choice did to my mom. So when I came home, I was intentional about not taking her through anything additional than what I already took her through. There was no going back.
That's right.
This is not up for negotiation.
That's it.
I don't care how rough things get. I will not return to what I did, because I'm not taking her through that no more.
That's right.
So that was at that particular time. 2005, 6, and then 2007 when she transitioned October 5th, man. And even now, as a father, I will not put myself in positions where I now got to take my son through what I know I took my mother through. And that's not excluding anybody else. That's not minimizing anybody else. But those who you love should be a covering. I should love you enough to protect you when I'm considering choices.
That's good.
I think that's important. I think that's very important. So I love what Dice said, because he made a decision. He made a decision to say, wait a minute, I don't like what this is doing to my parents.
Right.
Because that's who he had at the time. And he started to make his changes. And as a result, he came home. Look what he did.
Yeah.
Look what he's doing.
Has his company Celebrate
Life?
Yeah.
Celebrate Life.
NNB. And then Celebrate Life NNB.
Give me your social media handles.
Yeah, my social media is Celebrate Life _ NNB. You can contact me there, DM me. And the NNB stands for No Negative Behavior.
That goes hand in hand with Celebrate Life.
No negative behavior.
You can't be celebrating life and having negative behavior.
Also, NNB stands for Navigating New Beginnings.
Okay.
And Never Not Beautiful. It's a lot, there's a lot attached to it.
He got a whole franchise.
He got the arsenal acronyms, boy. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
I'm feeling it. That's stupid, though.
We're gonna cook with grease when we getting down with this, man. Because this is a serious thing, and I'm all in.
Yeah,
I'm all in. I jumped in with both feet.
That's what you got to do.
That's super dope, man. Right. Super dope.
Well, it's $9.29, right?
Yeah. Wait, could I give you the? I bought something for y'all.
Oh yeah, let's see it real quick, cause we going. Hurry up, real quick.
Real quick.
We got 1 minute.
1 minute. All right. Well.
Oh, we getting gifts today.
We getting gifts. Come on our show, give us gifts. Is that for me? Yes, I saw it on thing.
Fire. That's fire. Woo.
And I didn't know what size it was.
It's all good.
I got you a shirt.
It's all
I
good.
got a gift. Put the buttons on so I can tell people.
All right.
Shout out to Celebrate Life.
Oh wait, I want to put my jacket on.
Here we go. There it is. Make sure you holler at them on Instagram. Get your pieces, man.
Celebrate life, NNB.
Celebrate your life, NNB. Let's go get your pieces,
no
man.
No negative behavior.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
How much is it?
Yo,
It's free?
It's free.
Oh.
Oh
You know, we want to support. All right, so we want to say, can we get some hand claps, Erica? We taking it out. Thank you.
There it is.
To Dice, Celebrate Life, and
I appreciate it.
And what I got
and B.
Yes,
close out with a word, man.
Okay.
God is awesome.
God is the bomb.
Don't give up.
Dope.
Don't drop out on you.
Don't do it.
It can turn around when you start to really surrender.
Faith.
And confront you. Surrender to God and confront you, man. And God will give you a vision that will bless your life for the rest of your life.
He will. We out. Next week, next Thursday, tune in, 8:30, 9:30.
Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne.
We out.
Show.
All right.
Woo, super dope.